Hi, my name's Els, and I'm the instructor for your course. I want to introduce you to online learning, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Here's our agenda for this presentation. First, I'm going to cover off the good, then the bad, and then the ugly. Finally, I'm going to make some recommendations to you, my students, so that you can make online learning a successful endeavor. We'll start with what, if anything, is good about online learning. Flexibility. By studying online, you choose your own learning environment, the one that works best for your needs. It could be in your bedroom or your study or at the Starbucks across the street, basically anywhere, which is pretty awesome. You don't even have to get dressed up. You could learn in your PJs if you want. Online learning is anywhere, anytime. That works for you, whatever type of student you happen to be. Lower costs. I don't mean that your courses are going to have lower tuition, because they're not. What I mean is that you save money because you don't have the cost of housing, which can range from $10,000 to $17,000 per year, or transportation, either public transportation or car costs, such as gas, insurance, and parking. All of those costs disappear with online learning, and those costs can add up quickly, meaning that there are savings, and the savings could be significant. Because there's no commuting to a location, you have more time. You spend less time on the bus or the train or in your car, and more time studying, sitting on your couch. You no longer have to worry about getting to class on time in a snowstorm or if classes will be canceled due to weather, which reduces your stress too. This is a very positive aspect of online learning. Students who adjust well to online learning challenges have similar or slightly higher academic outcomes in an online class. You see the catch though, right? Students who adjust well to online learning. Unfortunately, most students don't adjust well, are not prepared for the online environment, and therefore are more likely to both drop and fail an online course. The drop failure rate in an online course is often double or triple what it is in an in-class course, which leads us directly into my next topic: what's bad about online learning? When you have in-class sessions, the instructor will verbally explain everything, often reiterating instructions over and over again throughout the term. This is then backed up with written instructions. In an online course, instructors don't do that. Instead, you always have to read all the instructions, and honestly, reading takes longer. I can speak about 140 to 145 words per minute, but you can't read at that rate. In addition, some students might have reading comprehension issues, which will automatically be compensated for in class through verbal instructions. But that doesn't happen in an online course. What does this mean for you, the student? It means that online courses take students more time than in-class courses. You have to explore and read a lot more instructions. You have to post questions on the discussion board and then read the answers. You have to read other students' postings and the answers to those postings to make sure you don't miss anything. Online courses are just more time consuming. Students don't have visual cues, either from the instructor or other students. We don't realize this, but we use visual cues to help us learn and to connect to each other. You use visual cues from me, the instructor, to better understand the importance of a concept. But you use visual cues from other students to not just connect to them, but to gauge their understanding of a concept. That makes you more comfortable speaking up when you're confused, because you see that everybody else is confused around you too. But there are no visual cues in an online learning environment. The content is either asynchronous, which means that it's not live streamed, or even when it is live streamed, that little tiny image that you see in the corner of me speaking, it's not enough of a visual cue. And you never see the other students in class, so you have no idea whether those other students are as confused as you, or whether they're all clear on something and you're the only person who's confused. Those visual cues are so critical to our learning, and unfortunately, in an online environment, they're just not there. And that reduces our ability to connect to each other. And believe it or not, in class, we connect to each other all the time. Even if you don't know who the other people are in the class, you connect to them through those visual cues. Online, you have no clue. Worse, I don't have any clue either. I can't see your faces. In class, I look at your faces to judge whether you understand something or not. And if you don't understand something, or I think the majority of the class doesn't understand something, I go over it again. But I don't have those visual cues in an online class. I have to depend on you speaking up, and you're not going to speak up because you don't have visual cues from the other students around you. It's kind of a catch-22, and it's all bad. Unless you speak up because you don't understand something, I'm just going to assume, because I don't have any visual cues, that you understand, and I'm going to move on. This makes online learning more complicated. That leads us directly into what's the ugly about online learning. Online learning reduces student-to-student interaction. Unless you make a specific effort to build interaction, it's not going to happen. We all know that cooperative learning and study groups improves academic outcomes. Research shows that students in study groups outperform other students regardless of intelligence. It doesn't matter how smart you are, you will be smarter if you are involved in a study group. You learn more from study groups than you do from instructors, mainly because the use of discussion between students in a study group helps you to understand the concepts. Study groups are not impossible in an online environment, particularly with the availability of things like Zoom and Google Meet, but they have to be more structured, which leads to my next point. Online learning requires self-motivation, but that does not happen in an online environment because human beings are terrible procrastinators. Seriously, we're the worst. Let me give you an example from last semester. I recorded and posted my live sessions. So what do you think happened to attendance at the live sessions over the first few weeks once students knew that all the sessions were going to be recorded? Attendance in week 1 was about 92%. Week 2 dropped down to 50. Week 3, it was just over 20. Week 4, I ended up with 5 students attending. So that's not really bad if they're going to watch the video, the live stream recording. If they're going to watch the live stream recording, no big deal. But I post my videos on YouTube, so I know how many people watch the videos. And what I was discovering is in the week when I posted the recording of the live stream session, often less than 11 students out of 70 watched the videos. So when did students watch the videos? Well, they watched them 2 days before the midterm and like 3 days before the final exam. We can't learn a concept 2 days before an exam or 3 days before an exam. It's just ridiculous to think you can. Unfortunately, as super procrastinators, which is what we are, we either get stuck studying at the last minute, or because an exam is open book, we think it's easier and we don't have to study at all. Seriously, students did this and admitted it to me. Please. Everyone knows that an open book exam is more challenging and time constrained, and you have to know what you're doing or you will get a low mark, which is why there is a higher drop failure rate in an online course. Students don't attend the live sessions and they don't watch the recordings, and that has negative impacts on their ability to succeed in the course. Online courses require a high degree of self-motivation. That's not true of in-class courses. Why not? Because you feel obliged to go to class. There's no recordings, no do-over, no chance to catch up. So you attend. You also attend because your instructor is there and your friends keep you on track. So that's just not available online. Online courses require students to be self-motivated to stay on track and keep up with your work and attend the live sessions, even if they are recorded, because the very act of attending helps you to stay on track with your learning. Since there are limited opportunities to do face-to-face interaction with instructors and your peers that help you keep on track, remember, you need to be able to start and work on tasks on your own without someone keeping you focused. You have to be self-disciplined in order to follow your class schedule and meet deadlines. And you have to factor in the additional time needed to read everything posted. So that means you need to factor in a bit more time. On average, students do well in an online environment when they spend 12 or more hours a week on each course. Does this sound shocking? Are you one of those people who don't believe it'll be true for you? Well, now we're back at why online courses have a high drop failure rate. It's because every student thinks that what I'm saying doesn't apply to them. Even though everything will always be there for you in an online course, because everything is posted, you need to be online regularly. I can see when students are online, and I know how few students sign into the learning management system, such as D2L or Canvas or Blackboard. You guys don't sign on regularly. But to be successful in an online course, you have to log in frequently and develop a regular schedule to keep yourself on track. You have to follow the course schedule provided and ensure you show up and participate actively. New content is posted all the time, and you have to sign on frequently to keep up with the constant flow, complete assignments, follow directions, follow discussions with your peers and instructors, and attend the live sessions. Research shows that one of the major reasons for failing online courses is our proclivity to procrastinate. That self-motivation part of the online course is critical to your success. You need to move from being a chronic procrastinator, which many of us are, to managing your time so that procrastination is not taking over all of your courses. So how can we do this? Go to the discussion board and develop a study group. There are instructions there on how to do that. Read them carefully, maybe twice, and then start building a group so that you have that critical interaction. Set a goal. You want a grade of X% in this course, and post it on your desk and on your door, all over the place. Also, set up a reward. We work better when we know there is a reward at the end of a task. So if you meet or exceed your goal, give yourself a reward at the end of the course. Keep your goal visible all the time and get friends and family to help remind you about your goal. Ask them to help you stay motivated. We all need help with that sometimes. Go through each of your course outlines and set up a schedule. Make sure you schedule in time to relax and unwind, and use that phone of yours for more than just social media. Instead, schedule alarms at the end of your downtime so you don't end up extending that downtime from, say, a half an hour to 3 hours. The best schedule is one you can see all the time, so consider using a desk calendar. They're huge. You can get them at Staples, and they're like 17 by 22 inches, so there's tons of room. Then lay out every class, every assignment, all the live sessions, everything for the whole term. Consider color coding them for different courses or highlighting them in different colors, depending on how many marks there are for those assignments. Sure, you might say this is a waste of time, but it will help you to stay on track for the whole term. When you're finished, post them on the wall somewhere so that you see them every single day and mark off as the days go by. And remember to build in that downtime on this calendar of yours. We can't all work 24/7. We need to give ourselves time to relax and regenerate. By doing these few things, study group, weekly goals, daily schedule, you won't have a problem being online regularly and keeping on track, which will lead to success in your online courses. Thank you so much for watching this whole video. I really hope it'll help you reach your online learning goal.